Good afternoon, everyone. Those are the two additional exhibits you got there. That's it.
Turn off everything.
Yes, okay, everybody all turned on. Good afternoon. Today is October 22nd. This is the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City. This is our regular 1 p.m. docket. Hello, Chairman Hafey. Commissioner Hafey is going to be our chair today. Are you ready to start with the first item on the docket?
Yes, we are.
Great. Okay, we've got Herbert Kirschenberger and Ronald Singer, Eddie's LLC. Trade name is Eddie's at 2239 Essex Street. This is a Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. An application for transfer of ownership, a request to add live entertainment, off-premises catering, and outdoor table service. As I understand, I have some information in regards to this from the licensee in regards to their opening status, because during our inspection, our inspector wanted to make sure that we noted that they had been periodically open. So I did pass that out to the board, and I'd like to add that as Exhibit 1 to the file from the standpoint of your information packet.
So this first document here is Exhibit 1.
Yes, and on the top of it, it says 2239 Essex Street.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Folgeman?
Yes, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great. Now, I am actually representing the seller, Mr. Singer, and he is selling half of the interest in the establishment, and Mr. Kirschgaumer is coming on. I have some information for you, though. Mr. Schwartz was unable to be here. There was periodic closure of the bar during the period that Mr. Singer was looking for an investor, and there was some weeds coming out of the cracks in the sidewalk, and Mr. Singer someone had submitted some photos to the board of some unsightly appearance. Those have been certainly taken care of. I want to submit some photos to show that the problem has been abated. As well, it was simply a problem with the periodic closure of the business. And now the business is set to be open 7 days a week again. So I don't think there'll be any problems with landscaping.
All right.
And I've just printed those out from my computer on my black and white printer. So let me know if you need any direction on those photos.
Sure. When were these taken, you said? Oh,
They were taken by Mr. Singer, I believe, on Tuesday or Monday of this week.
Tuesday.
hold on one
I'm
second.
sorry.
Let's have them sworn
Raise
in.
your right hands, please. You too, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
As you were saying, Mr. Singer?
These photos were taken Tuesday, the 20th, at approximately 3 o'clock. And I personally was the one that cleaned it as soon as I heard about it.
Why don't we go ahead and mark this as this whole stack as exhibit number 2.
Great. Got it. Thank you very much.
And secondarily, I'd like to mention that I reached out to the leaders of the Canton Community Association to ask if they'd like some input on this transfer. They were kind enough to quickly reply, indicating that because it's a situation where Mr. Kirschgaumer is coming on the license and there's no requested changes or modifications at this time, that they understood that all that was left to do was for the board to determine his fitness, and they declined to meet. And I have an email to that effect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
It looks like in our file we have another letter. I'm not sure who this was written by, but you're saying that
That was the.
they've withdrawn this letter? Or
No, that was not. That was a private citizen, not a community association, and that's the person who took the photos that showed the unsightly landscaping that has been since fixed and won't happen again because the business will be open every day. And
when is the business opening?
the business has been open on and off, but as far as a full-time establishment, guys, what do you say?
There is kind of gonna be a little bit delayed transfer.
Excuse me, sir, what is your name?
My name is Kush Palmer. I am the new prospect for the restaurant.
He's on the licensing. He's on the license.
Right, his name.
And as soon as we have the liquor license approval, then we're gonna be ready to get the mortgage and the loan we need, and we're gonna do a complete rehab. We're gonna take it, pretty much not take it down, but the exterior will stay, but we're gonna redo the whole entire interior.
And they will be coming before the Canton Community Association's Economic Development Committee and requesting permission from the Liquor Board before any of that happens.
We're gonna go through, obviously, the proper procedures to get there, but the plan is redoing it and reopening it as a brand new restaurant.
Are they gonna expand services?
Not at this time. At this time, this is a straight transfer. Live entertainment is already part and parcel of this package, and I believe
Or
that's it.
services not?
No
Outdoor
empty
service
tables.
is
No.
in
No, not at this time. Thank you.
I'm sorry, there's no outdoor service?
In 2010, it was added. It's just not on it's not on the on the premise. It's not on the portion of the business. But I believe that would probably be in that BMZA zone restriction from 2011, continuation of that non-conforming. Yeah, it was approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in.
It's going.
But it has been approved by.
One, please.
Sorry, one at a time.
Yeah, they came in 2010 on 9/17/2010 to add both the outdoor table service and live entertainment, and it's part of this BZMA requirement, so it is in here. So that's the existing use.
Wonderful. Thank you. We'll keep it.
Yeah. Well, just under new use and occupancy, once you get the new names, we'll just make sure that's corrected.
Thank you very much.
Otherwise, the file does seem to be complete, except for the things that they'll have to do as far as the other items that we'll need
Right.
from the final completion.
And while I'm waiting in case you have any other questions, let me just tell you about the co-applicant here. He's owned several restaurants in Washington, D.C., one called Et Voila on MacArthur Boulevard, and Zest, which was on Capitol Hill.
Correct,
Yeah.
Main Street. I had one on 17th and P. So I'm quite familiar with the restaurant business. I'm born and raised in Switzerland. I went to culinary school and hotel school there. I was the executive chef at La Niçoise for 20 years in the city, in DC. Maybe you remember, waiter on roller skates and comedy show after dinner. So, and I've been in the business in the restaurant business over 35 years.
So, this is incorrect? Request to add live entertainment?
When we have to, when it was posted, since it's a continuing use, we put everything back into the item. So you're really just adding the new licensee. But when we asked you to approve it, we're asking you to approve everything that they already had. They already had the live entertainment on the license. It's actually it says part of the BZMA in the off-premises catering, the outdoor table service. It really should just probably be a transfer to add the additional owner. But when we usually transfer it, we want to make sure that all the things are carried over.
Okay.
And who resides in Baltimore, or who owns property in Baltimore?
And I do too.
I'll go ahead and mark this email
Exhibit
as
3.
exhibit number 3.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
And these are the plans, the new plans?
No, these are the
The
existing.
existing-
As is, yes.
Actually, we'll go ahead and just move into evidence 1, 2, and 3.
Correct. Thank you.
And I understand that both applicants have experience in the business, but have they participated in the alcohol awareness program?
Yes, Mr. Singer it has, in fact, been qualified. I believe that you're going
I've done it in DC. I've never had a violation. I had a liquor license for 30 years, never had a single violation.
Right, but here in the city, we require that you
I'll be-
participate in a program.
I'll be happy to do it.
No problem. Yes.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. It's always a pleasure. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful afternoon.
You can go on and see her in the back. Thank you.
Going that way.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Who's next? Philip.
Okay, it's This is Philip Weinberg and Megan Gilson, Ovation Food Service of Maryland LLC. The trade name is Maryland Science Center at 601 Light Street. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor. This is a transfer of ownership, request for live entertainment and outdoor table service. We did receive a letter of support, which I'd like to add into the file as Exhibit 1, that was received in email the other day, and that's in front of each one of you.
This is the Waterfront Partnership of Baltimore.
Correct. That is the letter from the Watership Partnership. Yes, Waterfront Partnership.
I will label it as exhibit number 1. Who is the
Good afternoon. I'm Leanne Schreckengoss with Royston Muller McLean and Reed here on behalf of the licensees. My immediate right is Megan Gilson. She is the Baltimore City resident license holder for this location. The reason for the change is Aramark had been the food and beverage manager for the Science Center since 2004. They lost the contract and is now being turned over to Ovations Food Services of Maryland LLC, who is now the applicant before you. The operation of the Science Center is not changing. It's simply a change in the food and beverage management operation company.
Has there been any contact with the community? Is there a community association there?
It's just the Waterfront Partnership.
Does Ovation manage any other liquor establishments in Baltimore?
Not in Baltimore, no, but they are up and down the East Coast.
Okay.
Their parent company, it's Comcast Spector, sorry, get mixed up. So they're up and down the East Coast. They do a lot of minor league baseball facilities and big event facilities like that. They would manage the food and beverage operations for that. Their parent company is actually the owner of the Flyers.
They are the manager today, or?
Correct.
Okay.
Is there going to be a complete overhaul of the establishment?
No. And most of the employees that were working with Aramark are staying on with the new company. And all of the employees who are involved in the sale or service of alcohol are tips trained.
My only concern is that you make sure that you get the permits, proper permits.
Yes. We've already applied for the revised use and occupancy permits, which obviously will trigger all the inspections that are required, as well as the health permit.
And you're requesting live entertainment?
Yes, because they have all the special events that are hosted at the Science Center. There's sometimes bands and DJs that come in, so we're requesting the live entertainment just to.
Is that an ad? No.
It technically is an ad because when this license was issued back in 2004, the board didn't have policies and procedures for outdoor cafes and live entertainment as they do now with respect to having to pay for that privilege. They've always done it. So we're just making sure that the license is the way it should be, and the port is getting the fees that they
Yeah, I
should
know
be getting
they've always
for
done it, so.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that we've been checking
the
on.
cleanup item.
And it's a cleanup item in regards to this one. It currently says licensee may serve food and alcohol within the premises of the Science Center for special events. So we know that we need to have the change for the live entertainment specifically. But we think it was contemplated in the terms of special events when it was.
Yes, and I have documentation. There should be letters in the file from Aramark back in 2004. I had corresponded with Jane Schroeder back then about the fact that there would be live entertainment.
I don't have any letters.
Yeah, we don't have those in the
Oh,
file
yeah,
because
it would have been in the old
because of the
Aramark
old
file.
Aramark file. So we didn't have those letters, but it is contemplated as part of the existing license
Has
that's
it been
there.
approved by zoning?
That's what she's saying. They're going at then that they've gotten it already approved, and they'll provide the new use and occupancy with
Correct.
the live entertainment. So that would be what you're looking at.
Now, who knows the zoning district for that location?
I'm sorry?
You know the zoning district for that location?
I
Is that
don't off the top of
B3 or
my head.
B2?
I don't know it off the
Not
top of my
sure.
head. I'm sorry. No.
I mean, if
What's
it's a
the-
B2, B3, it's not
It's-
gonna be a problem.
yeah.
It's just a matter of them putting the application in.
Right.
Exactly.
If we approve it, then they'll go ahead and approve it.
Sorry, I just want to make sure we're talking. Yes, that's the reason why the new use and occupancy will reflect the live entertainment and the outdoor seating.
Correct.
And just to clarify something, the percentage of stock held will be 50% between the licensees.
It's actually, there's different classes of ownership interest here. The parent company has 100% of what we call the Class A ownership, and the two licensees each have 50% of the Class B ownership interest.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I don't have one. Fine. I say yes.
Yes, I'm yes as well.
Yes.
Thank you all very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're in hardship extension. Essex. Awful light today.
Sheila Bauer, Natalie, and Deborah Myers. This is for 743 South Munford. Trade name is the Munford Bar. Again, that's located at 743 South Munford. The Class BD7, a request for hardship extension under 2B 10504D.
For the record, I'm Melvin J. Kudensky, representing the request for my client was in 295, was rear-ended by a car, but I can proffer what the situation was, that he purchased the place in June of this year as a result of death of Mr. Lamar Myers, who was part of the Montford Bar, and he's in the process of trying to get a new purchaser and a new owner in there. So he requested a hardship extension so that he'll be able to get a buyer and release the establishment. I have a bill of sale shown it was in June 25th, but I think it's June 15th is the correct day in which the last day they did business.
Are you going to introduce
Sure.
them? Is this is a copy?
Yeah, there's a copy. Normally we would submit that along with the
The
request for the
application.
contract purchaser. And he just in abundant cautions, because he does a lot of work in DC, that he'd request a hardship extension. So it would be basically 360 days from June 15th, although the bill of sale says the 25th. Other documents say the 15th, and I'll be safe
Be safe.
using that date.
15th. Mark this as exhibit number 1.
Okay.
Good, I'm good.
You don't want to see the email, do you, about the fender bender? It's not. It's nice that
I
you
trust
sent
your
it to me.
representation.
Well, it's nice that sometimes clients let you know. Half the times you don't know where they are. They're disappearing at. See Me Now. There was a movie about that.
There's no complaints at all on this, is there?
No, and just to reiterate, the last inspection occurred on April 7th, 2015, so we were out there within the last spring at the location.
And everything is fine?
Everything else should be fine as far as the hardship extension goes. They filed for their renewal, so they're
And that was
fine.
paid for, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
None?
No,
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Gate.
Always a pleasure.
Oh, it's an experience. Depends how it ends. And
You said it correctly.
listen, Mom Kudensky didn't raise no stupid kids, okay?
No comment.
that was quick.
Next one is William Stevenson, Waverly Brewing Company, LLC. Trade name is Waverly Brewing Company at 1625 Union Avenue, Unit C, a Class D beer brewery. an application for a new brewery license. Attached, we have a copy of the application and other information, and that's it from the standpoint of the file. There's nothing additional for this file.
Good afternoon. For the record, Carrie Smith on behalf of the applicant, Bill Stevenson, who I have with me today, and Waverly Brewing Company. This is an application for a new Class D beer license pursuant to Article 2B, Section 2206, which provides for an on-site consumption permit to be issued to an applicant that holds a Class 5 state manufacturer's license. And I believe you do have a copy of that in the file, but if not, I do have the original license with me, if you'd like to see it.
Yeah, we have a copy of
Okay.
that.
Moreover, my client has reached out to the community and has obtained their support, and I didn't have a chance to get the letters to you ahead of time, but I have them with me today to submit. So this is the original letter from the Hamden Community Council. I have a copy for each of you.
Can I have this?
You can, yes.
Letter?
Thank you.
I also have a letter from the Hamden Village Merchants
put that in.
Association.
So we're going to mark this April 10, 2015 letter as exhibit number 1, which is the Hamden Community Council. And then, thank you. And then we'll mark as exhibit number 2, the Hamden Village Merchants Association letter.
Okay. Thank you. Got 'em.
No, no, you didn't.
I have the originals.
Okay.
Go ahead and move them into evidence.
Thank you.
And then otherwise, if I can, I just offer a proffer on behalf of my client, if that's acceptable to the board. Mr. Stevenson is a qualified applicant. He's lived in the Hamden community for many years and has successfully operated a host of small businesses. He has no criminal record and, will conform to all laws and regulations relating to the operation of a brewery.
And has he operated a liquor establishment
He
previously?
does have experience with an establishment that serves alcohol. This is his first application for a liquor license, however.
And has he participated in the alcohol awareness program?
He has not personally. There's an employee who has participated in the program and obtained the certificate, which I think is also a copy of the file. I'm not sure. If not, we have a copy of that also, the original.
I don't believe there's a copy of that in the file.
This is the original certificate that we received for
Oh, notes here.
future.
John Marsh.
Okay, yes.
We have it on the file.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Fold in record, that's all.
I'm sorry.
Put the folder in to, have it, log the folder in. The folder will be part of the case.
Right. So we'll move the whole folder into the record.
Okay.
When is it supposed to be operational?
Currently, we're actually just waiting for the issuance of this license should it be granted, and otherwise they've obtained all the other state licenses and inspections that they would need to open.
So this is the plan.
Correct. The interior has been completely finished, so it's just, like I said, awaiting opening for the purpose of licensing.
There's no outdoor serving?
At this time, there's not.
And there's no request for live entertainment?
No, at this time, there's not a request for live entertainment either.
Is this both wholesale and retail? You're gonna be selling beer to other establishments in the city?
We hope to. As I said, currently they haven't started actually producing or selling anything yet. But we do also hold a state
License.
wholesaler's license, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board?
No.
Is this all the capital that's required?
It has been. There's been a lot of elbow grease.
We got a lot of equipment. That's more than elbow grease. Okay, I have no problem.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
I'm a yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just can't believe they can do it for that much money. 35,000, are you kidding me? But. Here are some of my businesses. Okay,
You ready?
Mhm.
Okay. New application, Donald Kelly and Justin Dvorkin. This is 901 Hamden LLC. Trade name pending, 901 West 36th Street, a Class B beer, wine, and liquor. An application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor license under provision .2.08, requiring $200,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures, facilities, seating, and a capacity of a minimum of 75 people. There's also a request for live entertainment, outdoor table service, and on off-premises catering.
Mr. Hurdle?
Abraham Hurdle for the applicants, Donald Kelly and Justin Dvorkin. I'd like to proffer, if that's possible, the application includes their cost build-out estimate. I believe it's in the neighborhood of $875,000. They will certainly exceed the $200,000 investment requirement. They plan to have, I believe the current floor plan that you have has more seats than they plan to have, but is well in excess of the 75. We did have an MOU. We met with two various community groups on multiple occasions. They're not here today because we did get a resolution and they do have other jobs. I do have that agreement with me. One of the groups has not signed it yet. Their formal meeting is the 11th, and they will be ideally signing it at that time and approving it. I don't anticipate any concerns at that time. Part of the application is for live entertainment and outdoor table service. The zoning in that area is a B2, which does not permit that without a conditional use. We have not filed for the conditional use yet. The MOU does cover the zoning area and does cover live entertainment and outdoor table service. We do have the zoning approved for the restaurant use in the B2. We will be filing for the conditional use shortly, and we anticipate that with the community support, the local location at 901 West 36th Street, there should be no issues. We're just trying to avoid having to come back to the board simply to re-ask for it prior to them even opening.
Do you have a copy of that?
I do. I have multiple copies. I have 3 signed copies. Again, they're missing the signature of Mr. Ben Ray from the Hamden Merchants organization. Again, we do anticipate that should be forthcoming. I have 2 other fully signed copies, which I'll finalize and get to the board.
I will go ahead and mark this as exhibit number 1.
Beyond that, Mr. Kelly and Mr. Dvorkin are also licensees elsewhere in the city. They have the Pratt Street Ale House, and I believe they have a couple other locations in Columbia and
Howard County and Anne Arundel County.
Anne Arundel County. There we go.
If they're going to testify, we have to have them sworn in.
I'll take care of it. I'm sorry. So they have a location in Howard County.
What's his name?
Kelly.
Thank you.
Howard County and Anne Arundel County, where they have successful restaurants as well as their Pratt Street location. They've been doing this for a while. Mr. Kelly has been in the restaurant business for, I want to say, over a decade. Mr. Dvorkin's been in it for, I think, nearly a decade. My understanding, they've had no violations at all. And Pratt Street Ale House is a pretty busy, successful place across the convention center. At this time, I'd ask that you approve the new license. Pending any questions.
Who's on the license?
Currently, well, there's no one on the license yet.
Uh-huh.
The applicants will be Mr. Kelly and Mr. Dvorkin, who are standing with me.
And they don't own anything in the city.
They do. They own a restaurant in the
Are
city.
they on that license?
They are on that license. They're permitted to be on multiple restaurant licenses by the rules,
Okay.
not taverns or
Okay.
liquor stores.
And this is BD7, okay.
This is a B license
B
we're applying
license.
for, correct?
Uh-huh.
And the MOU does restrict in terms of packaged goods and things of that nature. They'll be doing no takeout liquor, but they will do craft six-packs, things of that nature, growlers. Their food percentage tends to run, from my understanding, in excess of 60%. I want to say it's 65, but I'll be more comfortable saying in excess of 60. So they comfortably meet the 50% requirement.
And your clients are willing to abide by the terms and condition of the MOU?
Absolutely.
And since they are, I guess, operators of, or have another license,
Mhm.
I assume they've participated in the alcohol awareness program, and all of that is up to date.
Absolutely.
And what's the,
They will be presenting the receipts for the build-out in excess of $200,000 prior to picking up the license. They anticipate being completed, I want to say February, March. There's a lot of work to do. I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with the location. It's an old antique store on the corner up there on the avenue. A very big space.
Just one comment. Live entertainment, this is a B2 district as stated by you earlier.
That's my understanding, correct, I
In
believe.
the agreement, if we do agree to have this
Mhm.
liquor establishment at this location,
Mm-hmm.
it's contingent on the fact that zoning approves.
Absolutely. And if you look at the MOU, part of the agreement is that they also support us at the zoning board. And there are restrictions on the type of live entertainment, the hours that it'll be there, and things of that nature. There's, for example, with dancing, there's no permanent dance floor. This is a restaurant, not a dance club or any sort of thing like that. But if they do private events, people might get a little lively, and we wanted to make sure that was part of the agreement. And of course, there would be no live entertainment if zoning permitted.
and other than, as far as security, you have staff will monitor the area, any other,
This is on the avenue up in Hamden. It's not a particularly dicey neighborhood by any means. They have security on hand at Pratt's Ale House on big events, things of that nature. It's more of an as-needed type of thing. If things are going to be, if it's going to be a Super Bowl, they would have more security. If it's just a Calm Tuesday, probably less security. They do have a valet parking agreement in an effort to help the neighborhood cut down on visitors parking. And they do have a trash plan, which will minimize the number of vehicles going behind the building because it's a narrow alley.
And again, you went through this MOU with your clients and they agreed to it, right?
Mm-hmm. We spent a month doing it. We postponed the hearing from last week to this week so we could finalize with the community. Worked pretty hard on it. Went to some morning meetings up in Hamden. Mary Pat was there. Mr. Mosby was there, the council people. So
any other questions from the board?
None?
No.
Are you ready to rule?
Yeah, that's a yes.
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 thank you.
Thank you.
The final case is a violation case. Luis Cabrera, El Cabrera Inc. This is trade name Lauraville House at 4528-30 Hartford Road. It's a Class B beer, wine, and liquor. There are 2 charges. The first one is a violation of Rule 415 gambling that occurred on July 7th, 2015 at approximately 9 p.m. The Baltimore City Police executed a search warrant in regards to 3 poker machines. And at that time, they recovered 3 toggle switches, 3 power packs, 3 memory boards, video poker machines, and currency of $13.73. The second one is in a violation of Rule 418, illegal conduct, again, that occurred on July 7th, 2015. This also has to do with the Baltimore police officers executing their search warrant and picking up those poker machines. And it's the same information in regards to the first charge.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairwoman. For the record, Frank Boozer on behalf of Mr. Luis Cabrera, who is the licensee and respondent in this matter. After speaking with the detective this matter, this will be an admission as to both violations. And then we'll speak in mitigation, of course.
All right, well, why don't we have everyone sworn in first?
Raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Sir, would you mind introducing yourself for the record?
Yes, I'm Detective Abraham Gatto. I'm a member of the Vice Unit in Baltimore City Police Department.
All right, and I take it you were the one who
Yes, ma'am,
handled
I'm
this
the
case?
undercover. Yes.
Okay. Anything that you read in your charges, anything you want to add?
Mr. Cabrera is a very cooperative person. We've dealt with him in the past with other incidents. I can only attest to this as a rogue employee, unfortunately, because it didn't take me long to make the case.
How did you make the case?
I go in undercover. I've done this several times in different establishments. I go in and I pose as a patron. I watch the ball games. I eat their food. I drink their beer, and I just observe players who are using the poker machine. The poker machines, of course, as we know, are for fun, and I watch the interaction between the poker player, or the machine player, and the bartender. And in this instance, the player accrued a certain amount of points. He then went down to the bartender, got her attention, drew her over to the machine, showed her the points he accrued. He went on to carry some boxes, some cardboard boxes that were there stocked up from beer storage. Outside, she then went to the cash register, began opening the register. There was no sale going on at the time. She opened the register, started writing things down, removed currency, set it to the side of the register, waited for the gentleman to come back who was previously playing the machine. He sat down at the bar, and she then gave him the currency. It's usually the way it happens. Sometimes it's a little bit more secretive because people, they know it's illegal, and they're a new person in the bar. It can make, we don't know who that is, but this one was fairly easy. And again, Mr. Cabrera was not there at the time. I know him from previously being in this bar doing liquor checks and other situations there. Not negative situations, but he was not there during this incident.
One thing, let's go ahead and just move. It looks like we have exhibits 1 and 2. I just see 2 exhibits. Let's go ahead and move them into the record.
Yeah, number 1 would be the police report. Number 2 is the district complaint. So I have those. That's what I have.
We'd have no objection.
Okay.
Oh, you said it was a rogue employee?
I'm going to say this: that I've been undercover long enough handling these cases where there are bartenders that are approached by patrons after they're playing. They try to get paid off, and the bartender's like, But then a couple days later, there will be a different bartender who will then do it because they may have either grown up in the neighborhood or they're familiar with the person and they feel comfortable doing it. So I can. The reason I say this is because in my times inside this bar, there was another bartender who did not pay anyone off. but on the nights that this bartender in this incident that paid off, she did. So when I use the word rogue, I mean, there's a difference in employees. Some are willing to do things when others aren't.
My question would be that who owns the machine?
It varies. Sometimes there is a person, the owner of the establishment owns the machine, and then there's also people who rent the machines out to these establishments. In this situation,
Detective, I can answer that directly to Mr. Jones. The machines were owned by my client. There was no third independent party vendor in this case. They were under, his control and employees' control when they were working.
My second question is that the coins that goes into that machine, every time you put one in, it clicks. So it's a counter on that machine, is it?
yes, there is. The patron will put currency in to the machine, continue feeding it, and if I go deep into my report, I'll say for 60 minutes this gentleman continued to feed the machine. When the employee, the bartender, looked at his machine, she reset the machine, and that's also in the affidavit.
So if there's a profit from that machine based on the coins put in, the owner has the right to count, and based on the count, he knows what he's supposed to get.
Well, let me, again, this is kind of going into, Detective Gatto has been doing this kind of gambling work as long as I have. And
I'm the one who needs to get the clarity here, so
Right,
that's
and-
why I'm asking the questions.
Right, he is correct in that the machines reset themselves. That's part of what, it's a 99 machines versus the state of Maryland case from the 1980s said. As long as a reset feature is on there, obviously the comptroller can't come in and see how much money was put in, so you're paying your sales and use tax, or amusement tax, I apologize, amusement tax is the proper term. These machines do have reset buttons on there, which does technically make them illegal. So if the employee, and detective, you can correct me if I'm wrong, an employee can reset the machine simply, sometimes it's simply that push of a button, simply it's a clicker. Some machines even have two little metal prongs. If you put a metal piece in there, it clears it. So there's a lot of different
That's
ways.
enough. But what I'm trying to understand here is that how can the bartender make a profit from the machine so that he or she can pay out? That's all I'm trying to establish here.
She can open
Somebody
machines and
is-
make money.
So she can reset, and he won't know how many coins went into it, and she can rake out as much as he or she wants. And at the end of the day, if she's paying some of it out, she can possibly make a profit from that without him knowing.
That would be correct.
Would that be a correct statement?
That is a correct statement. And in this instance, she did reset the machine.
That's
And
the toggle switch?
yes, sir.
That's the toggles, okay.
Is that employee still working for you?
She is not. She was terminated shortly after this incident.
And I criminally charged her.
Correct. And for the board's information, the criminal charges were adjudicated in the matter. The state's attorney, Baltimore City, elected to place the matter on the docket in return for forfeiture of the money and the machines.
What was the total amount?
$1,373.
And that money that was forfeited came from whose pocket?
It came out of the machines. Obviously, when the detective observes some kind of illegal activity in terms of gaming machines, they don't seize it right then. They go and make application for search warrant and then later come back, and whether or not illegal activity is then going on at that time, they seize the machines. Is that correct, detective?
Yes, we recover any currency within the building. It's his private office, his lottery machine, everything. We take any currency in bill form, so the cash registers are everything is seized.
So as much as I disagree, that's the policy on the search warrants.
And what happens to that money?
It was forfeited to the state.
Forfeited to the state.
That's correct. And the machines themselves are roughly $2,500 to $3,000 apiece. And those are gone.
And those were illegal, because they had reset switches.
The reason why we're both laughing is that the law is extremely unclear on this. Whether or not one of these machines is illegal is a ridiculously complex question, not only legally, but from a technological standpoint. There's a lot of disagreement as to whether these machines are legal or whether they're not. But what we're conceding to the board here today is they may not themselves per se be illegal, but they were paid out on, and that is the
They're
violation
only for fun.
themselves.
I'm sorry?
They're only for fun. It's like a video game.
Yeah, but you have to pay tax on that fund.
Amusement tax, absolutely, sure.
And if you clear the machines, you can't tell how much you owe.
That's where Mr. Franchot is an enormous problem. But these machines, as I said, it's been a bane for 30 years with the comptroller's office and people owning the machines. And
Well, it's only been
Chairperson
legal for a
Jones was
couple of years.
Right, well, it was correct in asking the question. A lot of the time, vendors, these third parties come in, and they'll put machines in, and they have profit splitting or things like that, and that's where things get really, really messy. He owned the machines. They were for his profit. An employee was taking advantage of it. He's been there for over 7 years now. He's 72 years old. He's a master upholsterer, a very accomplished artisan. I've gotten to know him over the last few months. I think this was just really an anomaly more than anything else. He's actually looking to retire in the not-too-distant future.
What was his previous violation?
The only previous violation that we have in the last 5 years is one sale to minors in 2014, in March of 2014.
And that resulted in Ms. Bethpage, a $500 fine, is that correct?
Correct.
Plus the admin fee.
Yeah,
Oh, right,
625.
right.
That's the most you can charge in the first time.
Yes, I know.
I was just letting the board know. I think the detective's comments in this case are really something to be of note, and that he does this every day. He knows Mr. Cabrera, he goes in there, and if he were to believe that this is any kind of ongoing problem or deeper nefarious activities, I have no doubt that he would let the board know of those facts. But as I said, he knows more about Mr. Cabrera's business probably than I do in a certain sense.
It's a very good bar.
Right.
Good people are in this bar. But, when someone can take advantage of something to make a little money, they do it.
So you're not aware of any complaints or anything like that, Madam Secretary? Have there been 311 complaints?
I operate on my own. I get complaints and I go to places, but I also go to other places just to see what's going on, just to see if everything is running smoothly. And I just so happened to be there for a night watching the Orioles, and this occurred. So as far as complaints, no.
Just for the record, from the outside, I know this place. I traveled past it, I don't live too far from it. Just for the record.
Madam Secretary, do we have a
We don't have any,
listing of the
yeah, I didn't have any listing of any 311 complaints on this one. This has not come up on our radar of recent 311s.
And Madam Chairman, that's all we'd have in mitigation.
I'm sorry?
That's all we'd have in mitigation.
Thank you. So there aren't any other video poker machines there?
None.
Do you plan to put them back in?
No.
And this has been inspected as the,
Yeah, we have not, I think, been there since I don't think I've been there recently. Let me check to see. The most recent one on this location that I have in the file is from April of 2015. I don't have access at this moment to my electronic system to tell you if they had been there since then, but I believe they probably have.
As far as
just the liquor license inspection.
yeah, just in quick glance at the paperwork.
Okay.
statement's about, 418.
It's just,
Well, it's the same,
it's the same,
it's
isn't
the
it?
same incident.
We're gonna keep them together, we're gonna keep them separate, or we gonna?
We
Well,
can make them one.
we can make them one, just move on rule 415, gambling.
Is it his intent to sell this operation?
It is. Like I said, he's 72 years old. He is actually actively pursuing at this point buyers for the operation.
We can't restrict gambling machines, can we, out of the sale of a, if that on the license?
It's something that you could consider at the transfer, at the time of the
Right.
transfer.
Transfer.
Not
Yeah.
right
Not
now.
at this moment, yeah.
Well, you figure he's lost, almost $10,000. That's what these add up to. With 3 poker machines. I would say a minimum fine, which would be, 500. Or you wanna,
I was. So we're moving on, we're combining the two into one. So it's gonna be rule 415 gambling,
yeah, Rule 15 gambling.
right?
And you
So,
could,
and this is the second violation,
so you could say it,
maybe six.
huh? Harvey, what do you say?
I say 650.
650, and would you say 500?
Mr. Jones always.
No, my position here, to be honest, is that he's the owner, he's responsible, regardless of who he has working for him.
He's gotta know what's there.
You gotta know, I mean, it's only the fair thing to do. You have one occurrence before, underage, which is something I'm very close to, I mean, and that's only a year ago, and you're back before us again. So it either speaks to him or either speaks to the employees he hires. And
Overall management.
Yeah, so we have to make you responsible. I mean, I'm not trying to shut you down. You lost a lot, but when you do things like that, you expect to lose a lot. And that community deserve more. So I was going to say 750. I mean, plus cost.
Right, I'm fine with 750. I agree with Commissioner Harvey.
And that's still a break.
Right, you have oversight over your establishment, and I understand, I appreciate the detective's comments that it was a rogue employee, but still, at the end of the day, it's your responsibility
To train the employees.
to train the employees.
May we have 30 days to pay that?
That's fine.
That's
Thank you.
So is it all 3 of you are uniform?
750?
750
Yeah, all
plus-
3 of us.
Okay.
Got it. A total of $825, due in 30 days.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, officer.
We finished for the day?
That's it.
You too.
Thank y'all, folks.
As usual. Throws down the,
Through on the long days.
that's too bad. But you can't imagine how many poker machines are illegal in this city. Jesus. Harvey, take care. I will see you.